जे कौन कहते
Yes, sir.
Personal freedom versus national security. Whether it was Nehru or it is Modi, please remember, every government will try to have a very tight national security. Okay. So, and as individuals, we may feel that our freedom is getting compromised. We are getting harassed. Our freedom is getting circumscribed. So, when this kind of a conflict comes, you have to be very clear what is the constitutional position and what is the position which the court takes. Any conflict between freedom and national security, what you need to do is go into, don't give your opinion. No, this is not correct. This cannot speak against the country. They cannot have a slogan like this. Don't get into that. Firstly, in science, we come to the first principles. First principle, get into the constitution. What does the constitution say? What are the constitutional provisions? Are you getting my point, Manjusha? Please get into the provisions, the laws of the land, and then look into the judgments which the court has given, Supreme Court judgment. Whether you agree with them or not is not the issue, but that you have to see what are the provisions in the constitution and what is the judgment. There are many judgments, like for instance, very recently, in case of that bail application. So two of the activists, so two fellows have not been given bail. The other 5 have been given bail. So you see in YouTube where you'll find that there is a huge opinion against the Supreme Court judgment. Please don't get swayed by that. Somebody like me who is not taking the examination can go into that and look into that and can be critical of the government. But you can never be very obviously speaking against a judgment. Are you getting my point? You must understand the judgment and then you make a very balanced statement. So we come to the, so we will go into the 5 things today. One is the IR theories. We'll go into the new act. We'll go into the whole issue of caste census. Tapare data protection bill, tapare freedom versus national security, and as far as the budget is concerned, so we should see what are the suggestions if the time permits. Otherwise, this is how we go about it. So, I mean, prathame, all of you, all of you must have a map. All of you must have, you must have a map. Tome world map. So, tome geography, as far as geography is concerned, you must have a clear idea about the entire globe, entire world. Koti kono ocean achi, amko achi. More ebebi mane achi, in 96, 95, when I joined the DRDO. So, Dr. Kalam told me that tomorrow we are going to Bishkek. I said, sir, why, where? He said, you don't know Bishkek. No, sir. He said, it's the capital of Kyrgyzstan. So I said, he asked me that, who gave you civil service? He said, you take my map immediately. You take my map. I'm not joking. He said, you will travel the whole world. Somebody called Bolivia ta kouthi, El Salvador ta kouthi. This give the hobo karvar se hobo. So are you getting my point? So you should be very, very. Ame biswas kuru very. I used to sleep over a map. Kouthi achi. Panama Canal ta kouthi wane sanction. So you should be very, very. Anyway, ठीक है. See a map ta देखो थली तो note करो. जे हमें all the discussion that we'll have. Yes, all the discussion that we have in international relations will start from 1945. I'm not going before that. First World War, Second World War, तुम छाड़ दियो. As far as you are concerned, you should know what is happening after the Second World War. Okay. Now, before the Second World War, please note down, Russia or America, they were allies. They were allies against Germany and Italy. Okay. So, USA, our entire Western Europe, and they were allies. Russia, they were allies. Kintu Russia and America had different economic ideology. Russia believed in communism or socialism, and America and Eastern Europe believed in capitalism. So the first thing that happened after 1945, please note down, first thing that happened after that Germany was divided into two parts. So Eastern Germany became socialist. It came under the control of Soviet Union, and West Germany came under the Western control. Are you getting my point? Berlin hala 840 kilometer. Berlin ra entire which area is 840. ठीक अधर तक वो भाग कर दिले. And a wall came up in Berlin. Please note down, in 1961, a wall also came up. Are you all getting me? Jittabale Second World War sarila. The first thing that happened, all of you must remember, is that Germany got divided. So on ideological grounds, please note down, on ideological grounds, that ideology was foisted by superpowers. Please note down, that ideology was not part of people. It was thrust. It was the brain drain. Supposing somebody asks you, what is brain drain? Brain drain is when an outside ideology is forced on you. Supposing you are a Muslim and you are said, "Tusra Hindu dharma padho, tu Veda padho." So you are being brainwashed. Are you getting my point? So similarly in Germany, East Germans were indoctrinated into socialism, and West Germans were inducted into capitalism. Okay, so that's the first thing that happened. Please note down, Europe before 1945 was a united Europe. Please note down, before 1945, Europe was a united Europe. 45 pare, Eastern Europe became socialist and Western Europe became capitalist. Are you all getting me? कि नोट कर खाता के खोल रहे हो का कागज आन लो की पेन आन लो और पेन को बदल दो से नॉट दिस ले कौन कहा को. So please remember, what are the major changes? Quickly देखा अबे देखा, let's not get stuck up. First हला कौन? This after Second World War, friends became foes. Bandhu mane, allies mane, they became enemies on ideological ground. Please remember this. This is extremely important. Even when we are talking of Venezuela, the whole ideology issue will come, because Venezuela pursues a socialist policy. Cuba follows a socialist policy. Are you all getting me? Brazil follows a socialist policy, whereas America follows a capitalist policy. Kintu say Latin America, there is a country called Mexico, it follows the American line. You must all understand how ideology can completely change. Nehru thile, Indira Gandhi thile, we were only talking of nationalization. We are only talking of public sector. Aji public sector is nowhere in the picture. It is now the private sector. It is all because of ideology. Ideology of capitalism. Ideology of free market. So, कौन change हला 45 परे? First हला Germany became divided. Europe became divided between Eastern Europe and Western Europe. Eastern Europe became socialist and Western Europe became. I would insert the main In 1945, there are only 66 independent countries. Please note down, there are only 66 independent countries. And there were 100 colonies. Please note down, like India, there are 100 colonies. All these colonies became independent between 1947 to 1954. Please note down, between 1947 to 1954, 100 colonies became independent country. Aji world re kete country achi kiya kahiparibo kahila 195, 196. तेणु 100 जॉइन कले केतेबेले बाय 54 तापरे हमर जो युगोस्लाविया भांगी गला another 15 countries also have been added. Are you all getting me? World बुझी पड़तो ना नहीं आउ बुझी पड़तो तो 66 थे before independent, before 45, and after that about 100. So these three things you must remember. Okay, so an overwhelming number of underdeveloped countries came up. So now from this map, सब पढ़ू तो तुम इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन पढ़ो संगे से मैप को चल जीवो मैप को चलकरी चलो. So let us quickly go into that. जितना हे गला वर्ल्ड वार सरी गला. So the first thing that the countries, the 66 countries did was जे आमे तीनटा institution बनेवा. 3 institutions were created after 1944. गोटला International Monetary Fund, please note down International Monetary Fund. तार कामो हला exchange rate stability. तार कौन कामो? Exchange rate stability. The exchange rate between different countries, I'm not getting into the details. Because before the Second World War, all countries were unstable, financially, exchange rate wise. So first, IMF ro kamo hala how to bring in exchange rate stability. Tapare World Bank hala. World Bank ro kamo hala to give loans to countries who were affected by Second World War. Kaun tara kamo hala? World Bank ro kamo hala those countries who were affected by the Second World War were given loans. Our UN ro kamo hala to give to ensure peace. तमे unilaterally कासे जुद्ध करबनी जहा करिवो तमे you go through the UN. So therefore please note down the fourth thing that happened after 1945 was creation of multilateral institutions. Please note down creation of what? Multilateral institutions like IMF, World Bank and UN. तापर लेखा गोटे GATT हला GATT GATT in 1948 GATT was created. तापर तार the how to encourage free trade. GATT रा काम कौन हला? Free trade between countries. There should be no protection. There should be no barriers. कौन कौन हला ताले? Exchange rate stability, provision of loans to countries affected by this, ensuring peace and free trade. 8 hala mein 45 hala. Kintu very interestingly after the 45 war the Cold War started. And Cold War started because of fear of communism. Please note down fear of communism. America dekhila je China has become communist. Latin America re bahut re country communist he gale. India is going a communist way. So tankara main mane America ro gote major takara daro rahela je communism will spread. So tankara main objective rahela how to stop communism. So one of the things that America did after India got independence je semane kahile India ko jeta Eisenhower tala president thile tala Nehru jaithile America jaithile Eisenhower received him in the airport. से तो कहले तुम जहां दरकार मते हमको कुहा हमें तुमको हेल्प करिवो अमेरिका कहला तार ओनली रीजन होची दे वांटेड टू चेकमेट चाइना. प्लीज नोट डाउन एशिया रे केमते चाइना चेकमेटेड हाउ. इट वाज नॉट बिकॉज़ हमरा डेमोक्रेसी रे बंधुता हला दैट देयर अ डेमोक्रेटिक नो दे फाउंड दैट दिस इज द कंट्री व्हिच विल चेकमेट अगेंस्ट चाइना कम्युनिज्म spread of communism. Are you all getting me? So fear of communism is a very important. So it created, please note down, two military alliances. Two military alliances. Are you all getting the story? So NATO hala, North Atlantic Treaty Organization hala, US kala with European countries. It was a military alliance. Military alliance from main kotha, please remember. So BRICS question as you. How is BRICS different from NATO? Please remember, BRICS is not a community for military alliance. There are India over ke attack kurchi, Brazil tongu sahaju kari. Are you all getting? In case of NATO, it's a military alliance. Similarly, Russia did the Warsaw Pact. Please note down, Warsaw Pact with all Eastern European countries. Are you all getting me? Eastern Europe re military alliance ki kala? Russia kala. ଆଉ Western Europe re military alliance ki kala? America kala. तापर से नोट पड़ो इंटरेस्टिंग कथा कहले, that is called the Marshall Plan. Please note down, एटा अनेक समय short note रे आसीओ Marshall Plan. Marshall Plan रे अमेरिका कोन कला, aid became an instrument. Please note down, aid became an instrument for control. Aid through रे किमिति developing economy को समाने जकड़ की रखिवे. So Marshall Plan was so Marshall Plan रे objective कौन थिला? Aid देबे, aid through रे तुमको देश को developing country को control करिवे. एटा कहंती neo-colonialism. Please note down, this is called neo-colonialism. What is neo-colonialism? Please note down, this is very important. Neo-colonialism refers to control of economic resources. Controlling economic resource of the developing economy and controlling them by giving aid. Dita kotha tankara economic resource dhara jete Venezuela bartar kon hichi oil ta control kala ko chahuchi ke Trump pura tar oil reserves achi, so maximum oil reserves achi. This is called neo-colonialism. बहुत कम लोग लिखुचे मिसे, this is called neo-colonialism. Trump जो कथा करूची, it is an attempt to okay. Same कथा अफ्रीका संग करथिले. अफ्रीका रा जेते सब कोल माइंस थिला, gold mines थिला, साउथ अफ्रीका जे थिला, सब these are all called neo-colonialism, where you control resources from a foreign country controls your resources. Okay, so that was Marshall Plan. So 66 countries थिले, तब 100. But please note down, by 60s, please note down, by 60s, suddenly the world noticed rise of socialism in Africa. Eastern Europe रे socialism 50s रे आसिला. बुझी पड़छो? Bulgaria, Yugoslavia, are you getting me? They were all close to Russia. Kintu socialism had not come to Africa. Please note down. Socialism had not come to Asia. So Asia re asila China korla. Kintu Africa re, please note down. Most parts of Africa fell under the influence of socialism. Latin America also fell under the sweep of socialism. China also. So please note down, one very important trend that happened is that all these countries, please note down, all these countries said that there should be an end to neo-colonialism. Are you all getting me? All these countries which were getting liberated and were becoming socialist said, no, it is high time tome bastani mariki etu bahar. तमे एठु जाओ जिमते हमें इंडिया कहला ब्रिटिश शासन को तुम बाहर एठु फिर कहला हम आपन एठु बाहरंतु. Please note down, almost all the banks in Africa were operated by the Americans. Please note down, banks. So amoro India re jaha nationalization hechi am within the country hechi amor ki bahar desar loko bahar country company didn't colonize India. Are you getting it? But that was not the situation in Africa. Please remember this. That was not the case in Latin America. Please note down. Latin America, all the oil fields were controlled by the American companies. Are you all getting me? तबे ये perspective दी clearly बुझिबो ताहले तमे conflict उटा बोलो better बुझि परिबो. बुझि पड़छो? So rise of socialism in Africa call against the colonialism. How Nehru started the NAM, non-aligned movement. कहले जे आमे जो डेवलपिंग कंट्री जो सब फ्री होइचंती, we should not go with superpower, we should form a block and we should challenge the superpowers. तल कौन हला 45 पर कौन हला? गोटे हला IMF हला, वर्ल्ड बैंक हला, यूएन हला, तापरे मिलिट्री अलायंस हला, socialism rise कला, and there was a call for ending neo-colonialism and also to have NAM. यही सब कथा चलता किंतु डिसइंटीग्रेशन हे गला यूएसएसआर 91 रे and the Berlin Wall fell in 89. Okay, so तापरे everybody thought that there would be liberal democracy and free market. It was the end of history. Francis Fukuyama कहते end of history जो थे कि liberal democracy and free market रहेगा. किंतु please remember, in all this there were still pockets of resistance in Cuba, Brazil and Venezuela. ए जते सब हेगिरी मध्य माने एवडा disintegration हला परे मध्य still then there are pockets of resistance. This is very important, pockets of resistance. आउ गोटे हमर नुवा बर्तन बाहरची, please note down the rise of unilateralism. Rise of unilateralism माने जोर जार मुलक. This is also very interesting and new phenomena. जो थे कि रशिया जमती यूक्रेन को अटैक करची 2022 से, यूएस जमती इराक को अटैक कला. So for the first time, please remember, without consulting the UN, please note down, without consulting the UN, superpowers attacked another country. Are you all getting me? So, and the most unfortunate aspect is, today there is little respect for multilateral institutions or for multilateralism. Just समस्त मिसिक रहिबा, फ्री ट्रेड करिबा, आकु respect करबा, that is not there. Are you getting my point? वर्तमान the reality of the world हला, जे there are three powers. गोटाला big power, that is USA. ताकु checkmate करचंती China and Russia. एमन हले big three. These are the big three. Are you getting it? Agur kono utla? It was US versus USA plus Europe. Please note down. USA plus Western Europe versus Russia thila. Bartaman it is China, Russia, or USA. So eighth hela, and the biggest casualty is that the European Union today has been sidelined. Jo Western Europe थे powerful thila, it has become a marginal force. Are you getting my point? So a backdrop to kahingi deli. So when you study about India's relationship with others, this backdrop would be very important. Somebody would say, no, we should be very friendly to with Russia, or we should be friendly with China. So answer tomorrow confusion. So that is what we say, that today India is opting for what? Multilateralism and de-hyphenation. Please note down. Multilateralism and de-hyphenation. De-hyphenation ala, hyphenation ala, je India, Russia. So 8 and occurring India, Russia, India, USA. Samastanka sangre relationship. So, so from non-alignment, please note down. From non-alignment, please write down. From non-alignment, India's foreign policy has now moved to multi-alignment. Multi-alignment, multilateralism, and de-hyphenation. Aim to me answer ti koriyo mane, je examiner janimo, je tumko pura clearly understanding achi. Bilo to. From non-alignment, we are going for multi-alignment, multilateralism, and de-hyphenation. I may quickly, whenever we study any conflict, please note down, there are two theories. So, international issues, you try to find out को theory रे एटा fit होछि. There are only two theories. Please note down. People talk of many theories in the net and all. Don't worry. There are only two major theories. First theory hela, please note down, the realist theory. Please note down, realist theory. Realist theory kochi je the power that countries should be sovereign and powerful. Military power is the key. Please note down, military power is the key. Wealth from commerce and industry and need for alliance building and refusal to entrust security to the UN. Please note down, these are the 5 important. Kon pasta hala? Pratham kotha hala that military power, tapare power should come from commerce and wealth. You should have military alliance and you should not allow your security to UN. O UN mate bujhibo. Pithe ke padibar nathi. Thala operation sindole kiछि UN to pithe padibar. Se S400 nathre to pithe ke padibar. Bujhi padu to kotha. Se S400 nathre thala asibo sobu ekdam dhulisat heijo. This is called the realist theory. Second theory ta hala pile note karo. Liberal, please note down, liberal international institutionalism. Liberal institutionalism. So, in liberal institutionalism, we believed in interdependence, UN, and transactions between nations should be peaceful, importance of MNC, importance of international financial institution, importance of international law, dialogue and deliberation. Gotta hala power, jor jar mulaktar, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ନେଗୋସିଏସନ କରିବା. ଦିଟା ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ତ? ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା କି ଥିଓରି, ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ରିୟଲିଷ୍ଟ ଥିଓରି, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ହେଲା ମଲ୍ଟି. So what happened? The power politics ମାନେ କୋସୋଭୋରେ ବମ୍ବିଂ କଲା NATO. They did not take any UN permission. 1999. US invasion of Iraq 2003. You note karo eta Kosovo ko note karo 1999. That was the beginning when NATO as a body attacked Kosovo. Russian invasion of Ukraine, now deposition of Maduro in Venezuela. So, so these are the things which is. Now we come to our. Now this is the map of South America and North America. Venezuela kotha asibo. संगे संगे तुम्हें मैप टा देखियो. Are you all getting me? ए जो मैप रे वेनेजुएला कोट अछि, it is here. क्यूबा कोट अछि, it is here. ए जो मेक्सिको को ब्राजील, बोलिविया, ए जो मेक्सिको को छाड़ देले, बुझिलो तो मेक्सिको को छाड़ देले, बाकी सबु होचंती अमेरिका विरोधी. मेक्सिको तार सबुटो मैक्सिमम तार जो बॉर्डर क्रॉसिंग करचंती ड्रग्स आछि. एक्चुअली जो ड्रग कार्टेल होछि तमे देखियो सो सिनेमा सब छि नार्कोस गोटे सीरियल अछि. सब होछि मेक्सिको ड्रग कार्टेल्स, ऑल ड्रग्स. मु थरे जाईथिली से मेक्सिको पाखा पाखी बॉर्डर जाईथिली से सब लोक सब बॉर्डर क्रॉस गोली मारथांती हम करथांती. बड़ माने इट इज अ वेरी पैथेटिक साइड. जेमति इंडिया बांग्लादेश रो जीवो नॉर्थ ईस्ट जीवो सेमति एग्जैक्टली से वाला सब क्रॉस करथु. So this is how the map is. Okay. So America, so America was always trying to checkmate communist influence in Latin America. प्रथमे 1954 रे कला, क्यूबा रे कला, तापर चिली रे कला, निगर इन सब देश रे अमेरिका रो काम हला अन्य कंट्री गोड़ मारिबा. तार होची काम. So basically it is to checkmate communist regimes. Okay. Now Venezuela re maji gote likhichi Venezuela re, please note down ji tara main issue hala they have a lot of crude oil. They are the largest reserves of, and before 1945 all the oil fields were controlled, most of the oil fields were controlled by the American companies. Jitole 1945 ne left party asile semane tax basile anko upare 76 रे उडाका nationalize होला. Please note down. So basically ए जो कहूतले तुमको एटा कहउतले resource nationalism. Please note down. Resource nationalism. Resource nationalism माने nationalization. Resource nationalism. But question is what is resource nationalism? Resource nationalism वाला जो when you nationalize yourself, taking away from the power. Okay, Chavez hela 1998 re, so the foreign companies start leaving Venezuela, and ये जो Maduro एटा बदमाश टा उठे से 2013 रे से टेक ओवर कला, and US applied sanction in 2020. Okay, so देखो गोटे बढ़िया करी देखो करची, देखो सुंदर भारे एटा गोटे करची टेबल करची, जेतोले 45 रे थिला देखो फॉरेन कंपनीज थिले सेतोले केते होतला प्रोडक्शन 3.7 million barrels per day. तापन तो नेशनलाइजेशन हला तो धीरे धीरे कमी आरंभ कला. प्लीज नोट डाउन जे when you nationalize the companies, how production comes down, how MNCs are far more efficient. You may not like them, but in terms of efficiency, see the free market में जो पहुँचे, free market पहुँचे, it has always been proved that free market is more efficient. You may have a viewpoint against them, but they are far more efficient. एक पे एक कर्वटा करके दे दीजिए, बुझते तो? Now, ये जो वर्तमान से जो अटैक कले, please note down, it is very important. जे वर्तमान अमेरिका रे गोटे न्यू सिक्यूरिटी सेवन गोटे डॉक्ट्रिन बाहर करछन. It is called the NSS 2025, National Security Scheme 2025. Question आसियो NSS 2025 टा कोड. NS 25 हला the latest foreign policy of the US. As per this policy, energy dominance would be our core pillar. Domination of energy would be the core pillar. And we should control critical supply, limit access to rivals. China and weaken OPEC's influence on pricing. Bartaman OPEC countries, Gulf countries, they are controlling the oil prices. So America wants that the era oil control karibo, tahale they cannot do dadagiri in oil pricing. Okay. So today America is moving away. Please note down. America is moving away from cooperative global governance. It has already quit 66 institutions. And the latest is UNFCCC. UNFCCC re jo energy pai, jo non-conventional energy pai, they are also moving out from there. Now some people are saying that what is BRICS doing? Now please note down, BRICS has no security commitment between nations, and they have limited capacity to respond to strategic shocks. This is the reality. Our next BRICS meeting about main difficulty hochi. So one of the things BRICS is trying to do is de-dollarization. Please note down, de-dollarization. It's a question of de-dollarization. De-dollarization means, sir, instead of having trade in dollars, we will have trade in our own currencies. Okay, so this is called de-dollarization. So BRICS is trying to encourage this. Already Russia and China are exchanging things in terms of ruble, in terms of Chinese yuan, local currency. Okay, so Brazil taku bodo guide diche ki tu kotha hochi kona European Union also is muted. So what are the options before India? Please note down, this is very interesting. Question to asibo je in this kind of thing, how does India look at this particular crisis? Now please note down that before 2020, before the sanction, India was importing 4 million barrels per day from Venezuela at very cheap rates. And our ONG's got a subsidiary called OVL is operating oil fields in East Venezuela. Please note down. Our OVL company, which is under ONGC, is operating our rigs fix it achi. We are operating the oil fields. Tagar participation achi amaro. Kintu jo sanction hala pare, amara hula kamo band hi. So many people feel that age of Trump attack kala, ita India pai bhala uli. Are you all getting me? Please note down. India thinks that this particular attack by Trump is going to help India. Because thara sanction remove hai gale, amaro OVL sethi jekri operate kar paribo. Because Trump is now wanting foreign companies to go and operate there. So that is what India is also hoping. So, amar pray shuna, $1 billion is due from Venezuela. Amar report hoichi. So we are hoping that we will get back that money. Mane ei jo jinsa ta heichi, mane this can help. So, so we should, in this background, try to have strategic partnership with the European Union, and we should try to have a free trade agreement, open doors for negotiation with the USA. We should try to diverse suppliers, strengthen strategic, diversify suppliers. Amar jo oil heichi, we should try to diversify suppliers, strengthen strategic reserves. Please note down, strengthen strategic reserves. America has a reserve for 48 months of oil. Please note down, America has reserves of 4 years. America doesn't reserve dollars. Amar chinta mein dollar rakhuchi, amar foreign reserve rakhuchi. America doesn't. America believes in having reserves of oil. Are you all getting me? 4 ବର୍ଷର ତା ପାଖରେ oil ଅଛି at around $10-15 per barrel. ତାକୁ ସେ ବିକିବ ବି that is the kind of strategy. So many people believe that India, it is time, India should build strategic reserves. Okay. And we should try to reassess our supply chain assessment. Okay. So, we end this by, so what happened? Trump had a meeting with the oil executives, and he has asked all of them to invest $10 billion per year so that the production will come back to $3 billion. He thinks that we have taken. But unfortunately, the oil farms, they are not very keen because they think that the cost will not be viable. Please note down, cost will not be viable. So, basically, the oil production above, oil rate will come down to 50 barrel. Please note down, $50 per barrel. Unless price is around $60, oil is not viable for any country. Please note down. Jodi tome oil price ta jodi basic supply he jibo, buji parcho kotha, basis the supply haba, jodi glut haba, if there is overproduction. So one of the reasons why these foreign firms are not willing to go and invest there, because they think that, you know, ek to instability achi, they also see that the market is already highly saturated. And they also know, please note down, the thrust is now towards green energy. Green energy. So therefore they think that to invest so much of money there in an unstable country is not a very wise decision. Are you getting my point? So, but the main reason, please note down, the main reason why America is doing this, it is trying to break the link between Cuba and Venezuela. Cuba and Venezuela hochundi dost ekdam. Cuba ro doctor aw teachers aସୁଛନ୍ତି Venezuela, Venezuela taku oil dochi. So yaku se chahuchi, se already he has sought a warning to Cuba je toro telo band kar debi. Mane in fact jo 77 log na mari gale, about 77 people died. Out of that 60 were Cuban soldiers. Yaku jo guard korthile Madura ku, ta guard actually korthile Cubans mane. So 60 ta Cuban mari jaychandi. So that is the kind of friendship. So basically, apart from oil, one of the things that this fellow is looking for, Trump is looking for, to break the alliance between whom? Between Cuba and so this is raw power politics. And basically what I want to end by saying, the real politics of international relations today is guided by realist theory and not by multilateral institutionalism. Okay, so it is governed today by raw power politics and not by multilateral institutions. We come to the second topic, which is the Manrega. ठीक लागू बुझी पालो तमे sort of clear clarity asal तमर होबो. Now we come to this program is 2 decades old. This happened in 2005. 2005 रे ई प्रोग्राम टा आसला. So एथरे main features थिला the right to work for 100 days of wage employed for unskilled manual work in the rural household. Please note down, it is a program only for rural area for unskilled worker and a minimum guarantee of 100 days. But please remember this, the present act increases it from 100 days to 125 days. But so far, the average number of working days is only 50 days. Please note down. Mane 100 days er scope achi, kintu the actual working is between 50 to 55 days. But the program is a demand-based program. Tome the demand karibo, tome unskilled hecho, tome kamo paibo. Kamo thau no thau. Are you getting my point? Please note down. This is the only program which is not supply, which is not demand-driven, but supply-driven. Please note down. This is not a program driven by demand. Tomar kamo achi ki no achi. Ta upare depend korni. Tomko kamo create karibo padibo. Are you all getting me? So please remember this. Ame jo ita gote kariche gote right jo kariche. This right is based not on demand conditions but on supply conditions. Tamane you are guaranteed employment whether there is work or not. Tome kocho tome pond kari paribo, road kari paribo, all these things you can do, but there is no actual work. So in the new act, please note down. In the new act, please note down. ସେମାନେ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଯେ ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆମେ ଡିଟରମିନ୍ କରିବା, ପ୍ଲିଜ ଟ୍ରାଇ ଟୁ ଅଣ୍ଡରଷ୍ଟାଣ୍ଡ, ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆମେ ଡିଟରମିନ୍ କରିବା ଯେ କାମ ଅଛି କି ନାହିଁ। ସୋ ଫ୍ରମ୍ ଏ ୟୁନିଭର୍ସାଲ ପ୍ରୋଗ୍ରାମ, ମାନେ ଏନି ରିଜନ ଏନି ଗାଁରେ ତମେ ଭାବୁଛ ଗାଁରେ ମୁଁ ଯଦି ଅନସ୍କିଲ୍ଡ ୱାର୍କର ଅଛି, ମୁଁ ସ୍ତ୍ରୀ ଲୋକ ଅଛି, ମତେ 100 ଦିନର କାମ ମିଳିବ। So that is the universal character. Are you going to put it? It is a universal right. From universal right, they have made into a work-related program. Kamo achhi ki nahi? Are bucho ki nahi? So in the debates which are going on, we have to fair to the government that it is looking actually kamo achhi ki nahi. Supposing some village doesn't have work, then they will say, je eithi mandega kariba darkar nahi. Are you all getting me? But it is, you cannot force somebody to work. Out a second very important thing, je jo samare harvesting hochi, please note down, jo samare harvesting hochi, sei samare mandega kamo hobani. In a year, please note down, it is very important. In a year, 60 days of work rohuchi gote tamara seasonal work rohuchi in the villages. So one of the difficulties which is being faced in the rural countryside je laborer power hanti, karan manrega work is less hardworking. So semane kon kurchunti se less hardworking sane gaare chasi paun hanti, chaso pe loko paun hanti. So they have, it's a very very sensible move. Though the Congress party has criticized it, it's not a fair criticism. Please note down. Pathe note kar pathe kon hala, first kotha hala kon je it is not a universal program, it is a need based program. Joti need achi seti notify bhava. Are you all getting me? Second kon kahili 60 days moratorium on manrega work. 60 days moratorium on third kotha hala linking manrega with Bikasit Bharat. Please note down, linking ଆମର जो नुआटा बीजी राम कौन सेटा कहउचंती बीजी राम योजना विथ विकसित भारत रे हला कौन थ्रस्ट हला, प्लीज नोट डाउन, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. प्लीज नोट डाउन, विकसित भारत रे कौन थ्रस्ट रहला, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द कंट्री, बुझलो तो, हाउस होल्ड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर. सो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर एंड क्लाइमेट, प्लीज नोट डाउन, क्लाइमेट रेसिलियंस, climate resilience. So they have also changed. Agur kona hotla je kamo kothre habo, ponds habo, roads habo, em to sabo habo, kacha road banebo, pani jo ponds baneba. So most of the works, kacha road kona puni next year se kacha road hochi. So you are not creating permanent asset. Please note down, one of the problems of Manrega was we are not creating permanent assets. Ame temporary assets kuruche, puni next year puni se road hala. So eman कहते no, that's not a correct approach. So to me, these are the three very very good things which are there in the act. Okay. How good hala samare कहते 100 days ru 125 days कहते. If you really ask me, the problem in this particular act hochi the financial burden of the state has increased. Please note down, financial burden of the state has increased from 90-10 to 60-40. From 90-10, 90 टंका दौले किए सेंटर दौला आ स्टेट्स दौले 10% दौले एमाने देबे बर्तन 60-40. Are you getting my point? This is the major change. If you really ask me the major criticism, this is the major criticism. Otherwise, बाकी जितने गुड़े सब करचंती सब गुड़ा का भारी पाजी लोग गुड़ा तो देखो तो ये जनसंख्या गुड़ा तो जो आरएसएस लोग गुड़ा सब बोलुचंती ना तो देखो तो ना they see the reality. सेमा तमे जितने जहाँ कलेक्शन वोट किन्हें पाउचंती because they understand the ground reality. बोलुचंती सुड़ा सब तंगा वर्कर्स ने बोलुचंती 5 कोटी बीजेपी वर्कर्स ने बोलुचंती जानुचंती ये गुड़ा का डिफिकल्टी होची. Are you all getting me? So now let us. So it's a demand driven program, inclusive 51%. So ethical लोग हला key recommendation. So ये वाला. So now what was the impact of मनरेगा? What is more? देखो. So please note down. गोटे हला. This strengthen women's participation. It reduces distress migration. किंतु one of the reasons होची lack of technical staff. Please note down, lack of technical staff. This is a so therefore most of the assets that were created were not very good. I would please मनरखियो जे in मनरेगा work labor आउ capital रा component labor और material रा 60-40. Please note down 60-40. Labor थला 60 आउ material थला 40. Ideally, it should be material should be 60 and it should be 40. ताहले कौन हबो तमरो work गुड़ा को permanent asset create हो. Are you getting my point? तमे यदि खाली उटे labor induced उटे work हला ताहले तारा asset creation will not be permanent. So this is your new act. Please note down. 8th देखो. 8th तमे तला answer करिवो. Please answer with reference to the sections. Please note down. ताहले तमरो मार्क गुड़ा कासिवो तमे खाली एमते बलबल आले हबनी. Please note down first ला section 5.1. 5.1 कला universal entitlement will be changed to central government will notify areas to qualify. Please note down. ये जो section उड़ा तो तमे मन रखिवो ताहले तम मार्क टा normal लिखिवो दी तो 4-5 मार्क मिलो किंतु section तो तमे लिखलो माने 7-8 मार्क. तो very precise बहुत. Section 22.2 fund sharing would be from 90-10 to 60-40. A section ठीक है मन रखियो. तमे दी answer रे मैंने full mark पे चाहूँचो. ताहले be very specific about the sections. तर section 4.5 हला state-wise allocation based on objective parameters prescribed by the center. कौन रहेला? गोटे हला universal entitlement नहीं. It would be driven by actual requirement. तापरे fund sharing has been changed. तापरे 4-5 रहला state-wise allocation. 60 days of work is our revenue, our diversion and priority रे कौन रहला? मंजू साहब water security, rural and livelihood infrastructure and climate resilience. ये चार टारगेट्स रहेला. तापरे increase burden of this. So main thing for me, the main problem with the act is that it has increased the burden of the states. So one of the suggestions तमे देख परिवो, तुम please note down नहीं परिवो, जे आमर जो finance commission जो recommendation आछि, finance commission can give a little higher allocation to the states. Ebe 41% of the central revenue come to the state. So one suggestion you can give that since it has been increased, it can be possibly increased by under 2-3%. Because it's a budget. So key gote achi, pechual gote achi. बुझ पड़तो कथा ताले ए प्रॉब्लम टा मधे सॉर्ट आउट हे जिवो कोन ह 41 करिवे सर समान रखिए से 41 रखिए 42 टा 41 हेची कश्मीर जेतु भाग हे गला बोली कश्मीर ला स्टेट ला 42 थिला कश्मीर जेतु भाग कर देले से 41 कर देले सर कमियोनी सेटा कमियोनी काई हो सर से कमियो कोता हातुर जाउची किंतु बढ़ेबनी सो हे बुझिगलटा बुझिगल तो मनरेगा बुझिगल तो आमे गोटे बैलेंस आंसर हबो जे बैलेंस आंसर हबो जे तमे कहबो जे दी let me say you don't note down तो कहबो जे the Manrega today is about 2 decades old and it has contributed very significantly to reducing unemployment in the rural areas, bringing poverty down by almost 40% poverty. But the new act is certainly far more realistic in the sense that it intends to be demand driven, objective driven, and would be focused to works which are more in alignment with Vikasit Bharat campaign. However, since the funding pattern is going to be changed, there is possibly a need to rethink on financing the states on these lines so that they are not, so particularly poorer states are not handicapped on this account. Aim to the answer karibo tal tomara milo. Buझ palo to? Actually. किंतु as I told you, जिसे 100टा केबे हेनी 50 हेची ए पर्यंत जहा होची 50 होची 50 टा 60 हबो बुझले कि 50 टा 60 हो से 10 टा जो बढ़िला सेटा तम चुंदर न कि तम टिके आउ टिके बढ़ि जानते बोले माने कथा होची नरेंद्र मोदी टिके रखिता चाबिटी रखिता को दबो बोली बदमाश के पे रखिती आ को आमे जिबा टिके कास्ट को जिबा हैला. So we go to a very important topic called the caste census. प्रथमे लेखा जे फर्स्ट कास्ट सेंसस हेइथला इंडिया रे 1931 रे. Caste census in India was first conducted in 1931. Please remember, जो Mandal Commission recommendation is based on the 31 caste census. Please note down this. Our independent India जेतबेला हमर census हला सेतबेला caste was not the basis. Caste was taken out. So in fact, from the Mandal, what a question asked IAS recently, the Mandal Commission report was based on which caste census? It was based on 1931. 52% ଥିଲେ OBC, ଆଉ ସେତେବେଳେ total ଥିଲେ population ଥିଲେ 200 to 231 ହେଲା. Indra Sahni case रे से कहला जे we should take the reservation around 50%, 26% for scheduled caste, scheduled type, 27%, ଆଉ बाकी 22% বা 23% ହେଲା OBC ପାଇଁ ହେଲା. ତାପରେ in 2019 reservation was based on income category, income criteria, EWS. Now subquota under SC/ST has also been upheld by the Supreme Court. So now what is the please note down. तापर हमरो जो census हेइतला 2011 please note down, it was the census was on economic caste criteria, SECC. Please note down, 1931 मसिया परे 2011 मसिया रे जो census हेइतला सेतेबेला caste census was also taken, but those details were not divulged. Please note down that details is available with the that was not divulged. So Bihar re, please note down, in 2023 they did a caste census and they found that the OBC is 53%. In Telangana it is 56%. In Karnataka it is about 69%. Jodi eita habo ekodi misedava SC/ST re tome general category re kichi nahi. Are you all getting me? First, this you must also understand this. In Bihar, if OBC is 53 and scheduled caste, scheduled tribe is 20, then bachila kete only kete bachila 73 then 23 77 27 only dhala general category. Telangana Karnataka is even more. So now our constitution kon kohuchi take note kar please. Article 15(4) रे हमें special provision करुचे socially and educationally backward classes. In 15(4), in 16(4) we are saying reservation of appointment of any backward class. So एटा होची हमारा main provision होची reservation होची 15(4) और 16(4) और 16(6) रे कौन होची reservation for economically weaker sections of society. So therefore in practice, your reservation has gone up from 50% to 60%. Please note down. Now, the Supreme Court has nowhere said that the limit has been increased from 50 to 60%. But since they have approved this, so in essence, they have also agreed that total reservation can be up to 60%. Are you all getting me? In the question is, Indira Sahni's judgment is valid or nahi? Valid nahi. In terms of the upper ceiling, it is no longer valid. No longer valid. Now, please remember, the Supreme Court has given differing verdicts. Please note down. Gotala Balaji case re koile, je caste cannot be the predominant consideration for establishing backwardness. Please note down. In the Balaji case in 1963, a full bench of the Supreme Court said caste cannot be the predominant consideration. Kintu in the Indira Sahni case in 1992, the court said caste can be used as a starting point. Please note down. Our constitutional interpretation of the Supreme Court. When I started by saying, you must understand what are the court the constitutional provisions. Now, please remember, the Supreme Court has upheld all the provisions of the including EWS. All reservation provisions have been approved by the Supreme Court. The main contention hoji whether caste can be considered as a point or not. Say Balaji case manahala. So Mandal kahela, please note down. In case of Mandal, so they said for OBC there will be 3 criteria. Please note down: caste, education, and income. Please note down: caste, education, और income. सबुथरे 1/3 weightage हवा. जो जाति रो ए सबुरे 25% less हला सेमन हले OBC. Are you all getting me? Supposing you are a caste, तुम्हारा education रे तमे average रू 25% कम होचो. Income रे तमे 25% कम होचो. Caste रे also you are perceived to be 25% less. Then you are OBC. Are you all getting me? So, 8 hosla mandal ra. So, what is the future? Please note down. Now, the Supreme Court has struck down Jat and Maratha reservation. So, can somebody tell me? Why has the Supreme Court struck down Jat and Maratha reservation? Income. Because of income. Give him a big hand. They are the land owning community. Please note down. Income is land owning, they are land owning and income. Absolutely fine. So, 8 so they cannot be considered. जो 1/3 जो income अच्छी, please note down. कोई 3 criteria, caste, income and education. So, तांकर income criteria माने 25% less हो रहा थे, ऊपर हो जाते. Both the caste, both Maratha और Jat. Same thing happened with Gujarat also. Gujarat Gujar community also. Same thing. Gujar community also. They also suffered a setback. So today what is happening? The vision of social justice has now collapsed into political opportunism and administration of equality through caste. This is what is happening. I am a caste story. So the question which Deepak has, the founder has put is, what is the future of this? What is the future of this? So first kotha, please note down, amara got a equal opportunity to principle. Please note down. First, you have to answer through the Constitution. The Constitution very clearly says equal opportunity. Our directive principles भी कहूची जे आमे equal opportunity in facility दबा, equal opportunity in facility दबा, equal opportunity in job दबा. So you should say that while reservation in the interim can be a reasonable proportion, it cannot be perennial. Please note down. While reservation can be a temporary measure. While reservation can be a temporary measure, it cannot be a perennial measure. Because that will work against the whole concept of social equity and opportunity. Social equity, it cannot be a perennial measure because it will go against the principle of social equity and opportunity. So এটা indefinitely ଆମେ କରିପାରିବାନି. ତାପରେ second କଥା ଲେଖ, please note down, ଯେ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ free market based society ରଖୁଛେ. We are a market based society. Market based society रे most important consideration is efficiency. Please note down. What is the most important consideration in market economy? Efficiency. जदि आमे globalization କରିବାକୁ चाहूचे, if we want to compete with other countries, then we cannot overlook efficiency as a criteria. Because we are living in a global world. Then we cannot compete with anybody. We cannot compete with anybody. So third, that there are certain suggestions that reservation should also be should be promoted in the private sector. Please write down that this should be extremely ill-advised. That would be ill-advised. Many political parties are saying जे आमे private sector मध्य आमे करिवा. तबे सेठी करिवो जे हमर many sectors many sectors are there where reservation is not applicable. Please note down. Gothala defense services, Gothala tomorrow scientific establishments, and medical, AIMs. So basically in the defense and scientific establishments, we do not have reservation. Ministry, so I did a surprise check. So what is the percentage of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe who are in the army officers? Army officers 46,000. So I did a survey to find out what is the percentage of officers who are from scheduled caste. I found that they were only 3%, 3 to 4%. So the reservation are you all getting me? Are you all getting me? So the information Delhi Pranab Mukherjee Delhi say surprise de gale kale acha itte kom pauchundi mukil ha sir. Security try kara jawans man ka case. Jawan man ka case it was around 11%. But nowhere near the 27% figure. Bujhi porcho to. So whatever reason, so therefore efficiency is definitely compromised. To say that efficiency will not be compromised is not a fair ask. It's not a fair ask. We go to the last one, which is the data protection bill. Okay. Data protection bill. So the starting point for data protection bill is the Puttaswamy case. Now in the Puttaswamy case in 2017, right to privacy was considered as a right to life. Ta purbaru Supreme Court judgments were neither here nor there. Please remember, right to privacy was a fundamental right in the US. But unfortunately, in the Indian Constitution, we had never included right to privacy as a right to life. So in that judgment, please note down, in that judgment, the court said that there should be a commission. We should give a report and there should be data protection law in place. Please note down that both in the US and the European Union, you have data protection law in the 80s. 80s ru data protection law in both these, in the entire Western Europe and the US, even Russia also. They have, so therefore they suggested that a committee. So there was a committee under Justice Sri Krishna. Please note down, in 2018. So Sri Krishna gave a report. Justice Sri Krishna gave a report in 2018. Now Sri Krishna took two models. Please note down, it is very important. He took two models. One was the US model and the other is the European Union model. In the US model, please note down, it gives primacy to the corporates. When corporates, business people should have freedom to get your data. Business by. All this information, the corporate should be, so corporate freedom was considered above individual freedom. But in the international, in the EU, please note down, in the EU, they consider individual privacy to be superior to corporate requirements. But the approach itself, so therefore there are two models. So the US model, US रे सबले समाने business model टाउ देखिए, business को सबले समाने primacy देवे. But in the European Union and Russia also, they give primacy to the individual. So सही तरह से मैंने कहले जे data fiduciary obligation, जो जहाँ हाथरे data रहिबो, what are the obligations? They also said cross-border transfer should not be allowed. Please note, data should not be transferred from our country to other countries. Eita gote bahut fundamental point thila. In the European Union, they do not allow data to be transferred from a country to other places. But most of the MNCs, semane kohchunti amku bada subidha haba Singapore hele ki America hele amku subidha haba. Are you all getting me? But so Sri Krishna said cross-border transfers, at least note karo, cross-border transfers should not be allowed. Should not be allowed. Third kata kahla, it should be citizen-centric. So amar jo vartman jo bill ta hai 2025 hai. So there are data fiduciary obligations. There is a consent manager. There is a data protection board. All these things have been incorporated. Now we have to see what are the areas, why there is criticism and what are the weak areas. Please note down. Justice Sri Krishna says, please note down, that we have created an Orwellian state. Orwellian state means surveillance state. That the big brother is watching you. Are you all getting me? So we have created, through the data protection bill, we have created an Orwellian state. It prioritizes state control and business interest over citizen privacy. We have followed the US model. Are you all getting me? We are following the US model. We are following state control and business interest over citizen privacy. Now, please note down, exemptions. States have been given exemption. What exemption? On the ground, please note down, sovereignty, integrity, and security of the state. On this ground, they can collect your personal data. Okay. And there are also vague definitions there in the data protection bill. That, like emergent situation, please note down, one of the things that the Supreme Court has been telling, that no bill should contain vague provisions. Please note down, vague and ambiguous provisions. Emergent situation, you have to define it. Please note down, in Shreya single case, please note down, in this Shreya single case, in 2015, कौन section था involved थिला कहलो 66A of Information Technology Act सेतरे कौन थिला सेतरे कौन से word थिला कौन थिला कौन वाटर थिला जी कहि दो से जी कहला से त पर ताकू आयस मिलला त को मो क्वेश्चन एटे बुझाउ चेष्टा करबे the court always says that in any bill, no bill, you should have a vague word. Jadi gote word tame use karucho, you have to define that word. Ko thala ko 66 re ko word jogu sir कहले जे एटा ओटा vague हला. Grossly offensive messages. Please note down. 66A कहला जे तमे गोटे दी Facebook रे गोटे ग्रॉसली ऑफेंसिव मेसेज कलो जे लिखलो जे एसएन मिश्र गोटे निहाती बदमाश लोकटे एसएन मिश्र बहुत बलबल होचती so what will happen so श्रेया सिंगल केस की जानि छी कहि परियो तुमे क्वालिटी केस ता कोन थिला बाल ठाकरेतले मरि गला सेते बेले तंबळा पांचटा झियो मिसिकरी गोटे फेसबुक गोटे पोस्ट पकेले जे ता पई काई छुट्टी हला से तो चीफ मिनिस्टर थला तापर सेतर से कहले जे एई लोकटा रेस्पोंसिबल थला ए जो मुस्लिम्स मान को जो अटैक हला बम ब्लास्ट हला सेटा को कले सो तांको सेक्शन 66 ए रे सेन कहले इटा ऑफेंसिव मैसेज बिल ग्रॉसली ऑफेंसिव मैसेज तो सेटा को सुप्रीम कोर्ट कहला जे यू हैव टू it is a very vague sentence so you have to say why it is grossly offensive. And secondly, please note down the another judgment, part of the judgment was that you have not given opportunity to the persons to defend themselves. तमे तले अरेस्ट करिक नउचो तो कहबो जे कोन पे अरेस्ट करचो तमे से प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन एक्ट लगे दला so that's not a fair thing. Okay, so vague definition leading to political misuse like emergent situation. Transparency is also very weak. Accountability also is very weak. Please note down, we have gone for unrestricted cross-border transfers. And please note down, there is no independent regulator. These are some of the issues. Now, last freedom versus restriction. Agency all of you note down because that is also in the context of the data protection bill. Data protection bill re tomara kete freedom rahibo a keti restriction hai paribo. Now please note down, freedom in 19(1)(a) is not absolute, it is restricted. Restricted by which article? 19(2). Please note down, 19(2) taku tome tini part re bhag karo. 19(2) taku tome tini part re bhag karo. Gote hala sovereignty, integrity, security and foreign relations. Please note down. Gote hala sovereignty, integrity, security and foreign relations. Please note down. Court has never interfered on these grounds. Please note down. Please note down. तो को ऐश्वर्य आसुची माने कोर्ट इंटरफेयर करूची ते प्लीज ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट मो प्रश्न बुझी परछो तो हमें तो रीजनेबल रेस्ट्रिक्शन कहूचे कोर्ट आर रीजनेबल नो you must understand that. So the court has always said that any restriction on the ground of sovereignty, integrity, security and foreign relations, they have never questioned it. A charita ground re court has never questioned. So please remember, primacy of the state, please note down, primacy of the state on issues of sovereignty, integrity, security and foreign relationship is never under challenge. This is the position in all countries. प्रत्येक देश रे जेतेबेले sovereignty, integrity, security और foreign relations कथा आसुची सेतेबेले court has never interfered because अरे स्टेट ता थिले एक रहिबो ना अरे तमे स्टेट नथिले कोड रहिबो तमे स्टेट एज एन एंटिटी that entity is not there ये तुमको बुझियो तो कथा. Now we come to the contentious area. Please note down, contentious area hala public order. Please note down, public order. Public order upre सबु बेले debate होची. Now, please note down, public order, decency, contempt of court, incitement to an offense. Please note down, public order, au hela incitement to an offense. Please note down, eita upre issue hochi. Jette gode restriction koruchi. Please note down that jette gode restriction koruchi state on the ground of public order and incitement to offense. Seithi discretionary scope ta dekhiba je prakriti re public order ta au offense heichi ki. Incitement to violence dharo ei jo kon hala jo se professor kon ta na se pilar se na ta kon are se pilar ta na kon hadil ha se hala ye उमर खालिद हाँ उमर खालिद केस रहला बुझलो तो सो सेथरे इशू हला जो इनसाइटमेंट टू ऑफेंस ता प्लीज नोट डाउन जे हमर जो टेररिज्म जो वाटा अछि सेथरे यूज ऑफ आर्म्स अछि. नाउ इन दैट प्रोविजन देयर इज एनी अदर मींस. प्लीज नोट डाउन, incitement to offense can be through a bomb, through a sword, through bullet, but it also says any other means. So any other means they have not allowed traffic to go. So whether that can be considered as an incitement to offense. Are you getting my point? This is where the trouble comes. Are you all getting me? Incitement to offense ta jodi tame rasta rok kolo, will that be an incitement to offense? So jo heitala Punjab farmers mankar jo agitation heitala, the whole thing was based on roadblock, and they own the case. Ultimately, the farm bill, they had to withdraw that, because by no stretch of imagination they were creating any offense. Are you getting my point? They were not creating any violence. But it is for the court to see whether there is any violence or any violent, or they are provoking any violence. The Supreme Court has always said, "Tome provoke koche ki violence provoke koche ki." Supposing you have provoked violence, then 100% 19(2) will kick in. Are you all getting me? So it cannot be vague, it cannot be arbitrary, grossly offensive language. So preventive detention, no note correctly, preventive detention article preventive detention 22. 22 please note down 3, 4, 7, please note down 3, 4, 7, 22 3, 4, 7, please note down. Provision for preventive detention. It's very, very important. 22 ta kohuchi je if you are considered an enemy, please note down, if you are considered an enemy or you are violating a detention law, please note down, you are violating a preventive detention law. There are two things. One is there are reasons to believe that you are an enemy to the country. Second, you are attracted under a preventive detention law. Tahale tumku, without giving you a charge sheet, you can be put behind bars. It ala kona 22-3. Sir, next it last. 22-4 hela, please note down, beyond 3 months, an approval of the advisory board is required, which will be headed by a judge of the High Court. Please note down. 22-3 कौन हला? तमे यदि enemy हला कि तमे गोटे preventive detention act under पढ़लो ताल तुमको जेल हे परिवो preventive detention. तार 22-4 हला एटा 3 मास of advisory. 22-7 हला, please note 22-7 हला Parliament to prescribe under which circumstance the preventive detention can increase to more than 3 months. Please note down. 3 provision hela. First hela enemy, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ତମେ preventive law detention act ରେ ପଢିଲ ହେଲା. Second ହେଲା କଣ ଯେ 3 ମାସରୁ ଯଦି ଅଧିକା ହେଲା ତାହେଲେ ତମକୁ advisory board କୁ ଯିବାକୁ ପଡିବ. Third ହେଲା Parliament will say under what circumstances it can be increased to 3 months. But it is not for the advisory board only. Advisory board will be governed by a parliamentary regulation. Are बुझी पुछो नहीं? Advisory board cannot do it alone. So please note down 1951. Please note down 1951. First time preventive detention was invoked under Preventive Detention Act 1950. Please note down Preventive Detention Act hela 1950. India ra first Preventive Detention Act hela kebe 1950 masya. So by invoking the Preventive Detention Act of 1950, A.K. Gopalan, who was a Marxist, he was arrested from his house. Please note, the Gopalan case la lekha, बहुत interesting case ta. I am writing an article on this preventive detention. A.K. Gopalan was arrested under 22(3) because he attracted Preventive Detention Act. Now his contention was, the moment you are arresting me, please note down, you are affecting 19(1)(d). What is 19(1)(d)? No right to movement. Please note down. The moment, are you all getting me? अरे गोपालन कौन कहला? कहला मते तमे दी प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन करूछ ताले यू आर टेकिंग अवे माय राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ मूवमेंट, that is article 19(1)(d). You are also taking my right to life under article 21. Please note down. अरे बुझी पड़छो कि नहीं? गोपालन केस इज ए वेरी फेमस केस जो थरे कोर्ट कहला जे 19(1)(d आउ 21 रो किछि महत्व नै 22 भाग रे से कहले जे if there is an act you please don't look at 19(1)(d or you don't look at 21. Please note down this. This was changed in the Maneka Gandhi case. Please note down. This was changed in the Maneka Gandhi case. Maneka Gandhi case re kahle 19(1), 19, 21 and 22 are the golden triangle of freedom. Please note down. Article 19, 21 and 22 are the golden triangle of Are you all getting me? You cannot say because I have invoked a preventive detention act. Because I have invoked the preventive detention act. You all getting me? Because you have invoked the preventive detention act, तार अर्थ नुह जे तमे right to freedom or right to life तमे नहीं परिबो. माने we have to see whether you have taken somebody's right to life arbitrarily. Please note down. Now the another issue जेता आसला छोड़ दिए बोलो के दीपक. Another issue which was very important in this case, ala je article 21 huchi no one can be deprived of life except by procedure established by law. Please note down, procedure established by law. Kon कहला? Nobody can be deprived of life except by without following procedure established by law. Mane basically, so whether you have given an opportunity to the other person or not, procedure established by law mane तमे ताको गोटे नोटिस पठेलो कि से रिप्लाई कला कि नहीं, whether you have gone through the procedure. So the challenge was in the Gopalan case, whether that procedure is fair or not. Please note down. हाली तमे धरा मते मते कॉलेज रो बाहर कर देले, मते गोटे नोटिस दिले तो 15 दिन ने तमे काहे की करो. So I gave a notice, मते कोई बाहर कर देले. That is procedure established by law. But the question is that whether that procedure that was followed, whether that was just and fair. A jinsa hauchi most important. Please note, this is what we call as due process of law. Due process of law. Just, fair and reasonable. Please note, just, fair and reasonable. माने जोटा तमे कलो तमे जेतोले देखिला, did you go into the merits of the case? Please note down, did you go into the merits of the case? Say it. Are you getting my point? So age in Satako, that is why Maneka Gandhi case is considered a landmark case. Please note down, Maneka Gandhi case samaste na nahi hoti, kintu tar first case which actually overruled Gopalan case is R.C. Cooper case in 1970. In 1970, this case is not really widely advertised, but the R.C. Cooper case the procedure should be also fair and it should not be arbitrary, non-arbitrariness. It should be fair, reasonable, and this is. And then it also said 19, 21 and 22 are interconnected. As I told you, it is the golden triangle of freedom. Okay. Now please remember, during emergency, please note down, MISA was invoked. Maintenance of Internal Security Act of 1970 was invoked. Please note down. PDA जो थिला, सेटा थिला Preventive Detention Act 1950. MISA was 1970. So सेटा against रे, please note down. सेटा against रे ADM Jabalpur case रे, please note down. प्रथमे कौन कहली पीडीए हला 1950 तार केसटा कोन हला एके गोपालन सेकंड हला मिसा मेंटेनेंस ऑफ इंटरनल सिक्योरिटी एक्ट एटा को इन्वोक करकरी मिसेस गांधी तुमको हाजत रे पकोथला से एसपी शुक्ला से गोटे जर्नलिस्ट थला जेमती हमर गोपालन गोटे मार्क्सिस्ट थला से जर्नलिस्ट थला ताकू राताती उठे नेला ता स्त्री सकाळ देखला को से एसपी शुक्ला नहीं बेड रे नहीं कि क्वाड गले बाथरूम आसनांती तब पुकरा सर बाथरूम को रात्रे बापा को नेगरी उठे चली गले अच्छा से टू से जबलपुर हाईकोर्ट को गले तक स्त्री गले हाईकोर्ट को जबलपुर हाईकोर्ट का नहीं नहीं तो इमरजेंसी अच्छी है तो किसी से जेल तही छे से जतले आसले सुप्रीम कोर्ट को सेठू हंसराज खन्ना ही गेव ए डिसेंटिंग जजमेंट प्लीज नोट डाउन हंसराज खन्ना 1966 मसिया रे पांचटा लोगों का बेंच उठे बसला दिस इज कंसीडर्ड फॉर मी दिस इज द ग्रेटेस्ट केस that has happened in the Supreme Court 1966 रे कौन केस था एडीएम जबलपुर वर्सेस शिव प्रसाद शुक्ला एसपी शुक्ला 1966 मसिया रे सो बाकी जो चारिटा जज थिले से माने कहले काहे कि बुढ़ी संग्रह में लागिवा गांधी साहब हमको जेल पेल कर दी पारे सने कहले नहीं देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन ऑफ डिटेन ट्रायल प्रश्न उठुनी इमरजेंसी अच्छी से जेल रहला तो सेठू ये कहला कौन का नाम छी हंसराज खन्ना कहला डिटेंशन विदाउट ट्रायल इज एन अनेथेमा टू राइट टू लाइफ प्लीज नोट डाउन डिटेंशन विदाउट ट्रायल इज एन अनेथेमा टू राइट टू लाइफ सगला राइट टू लाइफ is not there as a constitutional right. Please note, right to life is not a constitutional right. It is a natural right. Question asks, what is the difference between a natural right and a constitutional right? Constitutional right is the right which you get through the constitution. Natural right is the right to life, right to breathe. It is not constitutional. These are all natural rights. Rights which have been given by nature. Eight other कहले dissenting note देले सेठू आसिकरी से जान ले ताको भौणी पाखो आसिले ताको भौणी से पाखा पाखी रहतांती सेठू कहले मु केति लंच खाइबी तो पाखरे सेठू कहले हो तू खा से लेक्चर रोजेस जो रोजेस एंड थर्न्स गुड बहुत भलो सुंदर बय लिखछथि सेठू ता भौणी पचारला से कहले जे तोरो आज गोटे कथा मु करछि सेथरे मो चीफ जस्टिस हेई परिबिनी कोन कोलु ना मु एम तो जजमेंट देछि आ मिसेस गांधी बहुत विरक्त हबे शी वाज नेक्स्ट इन द लाइन टू बिकम द चीफ जस्टिस but he gave the dissenting judgment and he was superseded as the Supreme Court Chief Justice, but he is considered as the greatest judge that India has produced. New York Times लिखला that if a monument should be built in India after Gandhi, it should be for Hansraj Khan. Hansraj Khan जो memorial lecture हुए, so debate हुए, this is considered the best debate. माने तांको जब जनता पार्टी गवर्नमेंट आसला तम कहले आमे तुमको चीफ जस्टिस करी बोली से कहले नहीं so he was a man of the point I am trying to tell you is जे हमर जो जते सब डिटेंशन ऑर्डर लॉ रहउची यूएपीए बुझला ना जते सब रहउची सुप्रीम कोर्ट looks at all the detention laws whether it is fair reasonable and whether there is any vague ambiguous words there. If there is a vague and ambiguous words, that would be clear. So therefore, even in the data protection law, जो जिनसे साफ पहुंचाते data protection law, wherever the words are vague, that would be challenged in the court of law because you cannot take away somebody's right to privacy on a very spacious plea. Then this is state public order, so you can't use a very vague term for that. Vague term. Okay? So we'll end with this and it's like a circle circle. Yeah, बोलो. बुझी पाला तो सब जिनस ना नहीं
So I think this is one of the best class. माने एते इम्पोर्टेंट इश्यू गुडा का हमें कवर कले जेन जो माने ए वर्ष मेन परीक्षा दोच विल एक्सपेक्ट डेफिनेटली क्वेश्चन ऑन एमजी नरेगा चेंज टू वीबी रामजी एंड कास्ट सेंसेक्स आल्सो एंड सिक्योरिटी sorry this private speech versus national security all are expected questions जोड़ा हमें मेन रे भी हमें ओके एंड एडा ए वर्ष न्यूज रे अछि ए गुडा का कास्ट सेंसेक्स एडा का न्यूज रे अछि तो जो 21 नंबर टेस्ट हमर मेन रो टेस्ट हेछि सर चारिटा पांचटा क्वेश्चन डिस्कशन करले आ जो इंपोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन गुडा का अछि वन मोर नेक्स्ट वीक रे एंड इकोनॉमी रा सर 22 रा भी अछि सो देटा नेक्स्ट वीक रे सर विल अगेन सर अगेन because माने I think कि यही भलिया क्वेश्चन दे sir is the best person to give us knowledge कारण आमे in depth रे माने पॉलिटी बही पढिबो लक्ष्मीकांत पढिबो you cannot get this knowledge एडीएम जबलपुर वर्सेस एसपी एही गेला कि हमरो जो सीआर सिंगल वर्सेस स्टेट जो वार्ड सर कहउ छथि कि हमरो हेग ऑफ ऑफेंस ए सब गुडा का हम बही तो एही गुडा का ऊपर तेणु ये जो जिनस प्रैक्टिकल जिनस गुडा जानिबा वेरी वेरी अनलेस अंटिल जे से टॉपिक ऊपर एक्सपर्ट यू कैन नॉट माने पाई परिबनी से नॉलेज सो इवन इफ तमे जाई कि कोठी यूट्यूब रे कि बही रे खोजबो भी पाई परिबनी सो जो प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस सांकर अछि सेटा हमको रियली बहुत हेल्प करूचे एंड सब गुडा का माने एथिरे तम भाबनी जो माने पढी छ और जानि छ दिस इज सम माने गोटे लेक्चर यू शुड नॉट मिस तेणु जो मैंने आज आसीन मु कहबी ऑनलाइन ने जो मैंने अच्छा एटलिस्ट जो दिन फ्राइडे दिन सर क्लास होची नॉट अबाउट केवल लेक्चर नो सर इज इटसेल्फ गोटे लेसन फॉर अस जे सर प्रेजेंस सर पाठ पढ़ा तो माने मते माने बहुत इंस्पायरिंग करे किंतु सर पर्सनालिटीज माने सब गुडा का हमें भाबुचे जे जो लोक मान स्वप्न तो नहीं सर सहीटा नहीं रियली माने हमें जा मान स्वप्न देखू कि एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम के I don't think कि सर आपन का एजर मुठी ठियाई पर दिबे सो एंड सेही दैट टू सर असंती अराउंड 15-16 किलोमीटर्स फ्रॉम नंदन कानन एरिया रु पुनी एते रहस रे आसी की सो दैट स्पिरिट ऑलवेज कीप अस मोटिवेटिंग
जते बडे माने मु आईएएस से कॉल पाइतिली आ भाईबा पई मो सब संग माने सब उतरे बाजीराव को सॉरी
बाजीराव आ राव एकेडमी
राव स्टडी से 5000 टका पड़छ सो सेते बडे हमर अरविंद हरि सब कहले दिबा दिल्ली दिबा तो नना कोई नना टिके दिल्ली जीबी से कहले हां तू तो पाई जीबो कि तंग रियल रीजन था ही कुंट अफोर्ड इट ही वाज अ स्कूल टीचर it was very difficult for him. I'll be very frank with you. तो जानी पारली जे तकर क्षमता नथला आ मते पठिया पे दिल्ली माने पठिया सेते माने भाबे जे तब माने ए एते सुंदर इंस्टीट्यूट करिछि जति कि मोर शक्ति अछि जति कि पढ़ा पे जानि छी आ तबर मो जति जानि छी तम पे सेता एडिक्वेट मोर देन नॉट दैट आई नो एवरीथिंग बट द एरिया कवर हैव अ फेयरली गुड आईडिया.
Okay, so thank you guys. Really thank again. तो जोड़ा का पूरा हॉट टॉपिक ओके ठीक अच्छी सर करेंगे सो जोड़ा का पूरा हॉट टॉपिक रोचे वीकली जोड़ा का हमें देखुचे करंट की मंथली जोड़ा का इंपोर्टेंट न्यूज रोचे से बड़ा टॉपिक सर करेंगे एंड पूरा इन डेप्थ सर एनालिसिस करछनी तो आमे भी मु गोटे कहबी एथर हमर जो फ्राइडे को टॉपिक गुडा का हबो विल गिव ए लिस्ट ऑफ टॉपिक कि ए टॉपिक गुडा का हबो यू शुड एटलीस्ट एडवांस रे तमे टिके ताबे रिसर्च करके आसीथिबो सो दैट यू कैन कैप्चर सर जो इन डेप्थ एनालिसिस ता तमे बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग तमे रहबो
रिक्वायरमेंट दरकार होचे डेप्थ दरकार होचे पड़ी के तो 500 क्वेश्चन करिवे 500 क्वेश्चन पूरा करछि
Okay, so ठीक है जी, thank you guys and have a great day to all.
Thank you, sir.